What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
The Basement with Danish and O'Neill, a new show from the All Things Comedy Network, a YouTube show. I believe youtube.com/allthingscomedy, ATC. Basically, if you were to take like Wayne's World and have them dissect modern internet clips in a sense. But Danish and O'Neill, two stand-up comedians, hosts of the Danish and O'Neill podcast, where they kind of discuss internet stories going back and forth. This one, very similar in some ways to their podcast, but this one is them in a basement type of studio setup, and they're watching and talking about video clips. There's only been 2 episodes, so it's fairly early on in the history of this show. I love the potential of the show. One, it's in the wheelhouse of what they do, kind of talking shit about ridiculous things that are going on in the world, but adding the video element. So it's kind of has the feeling of Your Mom's House in a sense, where Your Mom's House, they like to break down internet clips as well, but they tend to go a little bit more obscure and have more inside references than Danish and O'Neill. Where this one and Your Mom's House is a lot more than just talking about internet clips, where this one seems to be more specifically, internet clips and just them commenting on it. They also do sketches that are related to the internet clips that they're talking about. And then, of course, at the end, they have a special guest do stand-up. So far, it's been Fang Chow doing it twice, which the production of the show, you could tell, it being since it's fairly early on, that they're really just trying to find their footing in a lot of ways. Like the 2 guests or the 2 hosts, Danish and O'Neill, they're in comfortable looking chairs, but sit way back. It just seems like they both seem to have a little bit low energy. And then, them while watching the clips, they'll, yell stop, which I actually like that part of it. Because usually around the same time, the same moments of these videos, they want to get stopped. But I think just, after a few episodes, they'll get the whole, it'll become a more well-oiled machine, I have a feeling. And then there's a thing where when they do the stand-up section, Fang Chow is facing them, so his back is to the camera. And then one of the guys is holding a separate camera that's supposed to be filming the front of him. But the first episode, I don't think they even used the footage. And the second episode, it wasn't even in frame correctly. But the idea of what they're trying to do, I understand. And there was another, I think they probably film a chunk of these all at once. New episode, by the way, of the Basement comes out every Tuesday on YouTube, All Things Comedy. But it's definitely, it's one of those shows where I have a feeling in a few months it's just going to be, I mean, it may take a little bit longer to hit its stride, but I think they'll work out a lot of the kinks, and it's a show that I'm excited. I love the All Things Comedy, first off, a podcast collective that started off very similar to what I was doing with my podcast collective, kind of bringing a community of people together to help each other promote each other's podcasts, or at least that's kind of the impetus of it. And everybody owning their stuff. I never took ownership of anybody's shows. And then now with All Things Comedy, they have investors and they have money coming in, so they're able to do original content, like Something's Burning. They're doing like video content, and also the documentary on Amazing Jonathan, Always Amazing. They were part of the production of that documentary, which is by far the superior Amazing Jonathan documentary. Do not watch the Hulu documentary. It's a bait and switch. It's not actually about Amazing Jonathan. It's about the documentarian who made the documentary and his struggle of making a documentary that's not about the person that's in the title. So go watch Amazing Jonathan. Watch that documentary instead. But it's cool to see that now they're like, I mean, it's been think they started probably around 04, 05, maybe they started. It's cool to see them. 2015. Not 05. It's cool to see them start to put out more video content, more shows, rather than just putting out a video version of the podcast like The Dollop or Punch Drunk Sports or What's Up, Dude, or I forget what the name of the other show is, but they do a lot of their podcasts kind of release a video version, which a lot of podcasts do in general. But these are shows specifically for video viewing, like Something's Burning, Bert Kreischer's cooking show. But yeah, just I love the idea of them being kind of the Wayne and Garth. That's kind of their mentality anyway. I enjoy being able to see them because they have similar voices. So when you listen to the podcast, it's kind of hard sometimes to know who's speaking. But when you watch it, they have there's differences in their voices, but it's tough. But being able to see them, it's a big benefit, and just being able to, just kind of the idea of this show, I think it's going to be fun to watch it grow and change. Just same with, not far from Something's Burning, or even Bert Kreischer's podcast. When Bert just put up a picture recently of Tom Segura and Joey Diaz in his man cave as they recorded the first episode of the Bertcast. And that was a clusterfuck. If anybody has gone back to listen to the very first episode of Bertcast, it took Bert a while to kind of get his footing in how, find his podcast voice, as it were, find how he wants to do his podcast. And, that's been a fun journey to watch. Same with Something's Burning, and then same with this. I think this has got a lot of potential. And definitely, if you're looking for something new, it's a new show, just started. 2 episodes came out so far. Episode 3 will be out by the time this episode drops, which hopefully it's good as well. But I'm excited to see where the show goes and see. It's just, I've done so many shows. Every Sunday on this show, I try to talk about a podcast or an internet show because I love it, and I want to keep a day available to speak about different shows. And I'll bring back and talk about shows like Kill Tony I've talked about, and I'll Sword and Scale. I'll bring back. I'm not just going to talk about them one and done, but I do like bringing in and finding new shows that are going on that I can share with people and maybe get them into something that they never even would have thought of to watch. And Danish and O'Neill. They're, a comedy duo that they're also really funny. If you want to listen to, aside from their podcast, aside from The Basement, and bringing it back to Bert Kreischer again, listen to the Danish and O'Neill episode. I think they've done multiple episodes with Bert Kreischer. They tend to be very long, multiple hours long, and very intoxicated, which is always a fun kind of combination when it comes to podcasting, especially Bert Kreischer. Bert is just one of the funniest guys, and when he gets drunk, there's a few layers. They're not very thick layers of filtering that goes on, but the few layers that he does have of filtering from his brain to his mouth kind of disappear, and he's a lot more open with letting things fly, and it's a lot of fun to see where it goes. So check those out also. But yeah, that's it. Danish and O'Neill, all things comedy. Love it so much. Excited to see where it goes. New episodes, though, of this show, The Ray Taylor Show, are coming out every day. Subscribe everywhere podcasts are found, including IGTV and YouTube for the video versions. Buy my original artwork over at inspireddisorder.com. Over 800 original paintings for you to buy, and you can save 25% for being a loyal viewer and listener of this show by using coupon code RTS for Ray Taylor Show. At Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!